All right, this meeting of the Historic District Commission will take place in a webinar format through Zoom. The chair of the commission is Sarah Moriarty. The host of the webinar is the building officials. Staff attending this meeting include Peter Zavinglis and Linda Galetta. Anyone speaking should state their names prior to speaking each time. The panelists in this webinar meeting will be the commission members and the building staff. Panelists who would like to comment on an item should indicate such by the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. After a panelist raises their hand, they will be able to comment one at a time when called upon by the chairperson. Panelists should mute their microphones until called upon. Panelists calling into the meeting by telephone may raise or lower their hand by pressing *9. To mute or unmute your call, press *6. To make a motion or second a motion, commission members can raise a hand and be acknowledged by the host or chair. To vote on a motion, commission members will be called upon individually by the chair to vote. Public can participate in the meeting during the public communications agenda item. The public will be asked to raise their hand during public communications if they want to speak at this time by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. Public will be called upon by the host one at a time and will be able to speak during this time. Attendees must identify themselves before speaking.
Thank you. So I will call this meeting to order 7:03 on August 17th. Linda, is Don's not here, right? I'm not missing him.
Correct. He said he wasn't going to make tonight.
Okay, I must have missed it. Thank you. So I'll seat Ferguson for Levinson. Someone would, Todd, are you reading the call? I forget.
Yes.
Okay.
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice of one insertion on Monday, August 9th, 2021. Town of Groton notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 17, 2021 at 7 p.m. virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HCC 21-44, 102 School Street, Sarah Dove owner, Charles Perini applicant, addition and renovations, PIN number 2618052715554. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meetings calendar or can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us. Webinar ID 85909847210. Password 296018 or by phone 1-312-626-6799. Access to electronic equipment at the Town Hall Annex for purposes of attending, participating in the meeting shall be provided to any member of the public who provides a written request to the Office of Planning and Development not less than 24 hours prior to the meeting. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 9th day of August 2021 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
Thank you. So I will call HGC 21-44, 102 School Street, Sarah Dove owner, Charles Perini applicant. Hi there, Mr. Perini. You have the floor.
Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Do you want me to rehash the application?
Like you've never been here. Seriously.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. Sarah, my name is Charles Perini. I'm representing Sarah Dove as a friend. She owns the residence at 102 School Street, which is across from the little West Mystic Post Office and from the West Mystic Market. She's lived in this house for over 20 years, and she's been thinking about tearing down part of the house all those years because it's in such bad shape. I hope that some of you have had a chance to go visit the site and to see exactly how bad it is, because it's evident that it's beyond repair. And even if it was repairable, we're not sure that it fits the style of a house. So she wants to bring the house back to its original Greek Revival or whatever that style is. I think the house was built in 1848. And also she in the original application, and you can see it there, she talked about putting in a little garden shed and the possibility of building a porch. Since then, after talking to you guys at the last meeting, we've talked about that, and she's not prepared yet to actually go forward with the garden shed because she wants to see what the space is like after the demolition of that part of the house. And she also said that we should go ahead and just do the simplest possible steps to replace the existing porch, which will hopefully be torn down. Any other questions from you guys? Oh, and by the way, you probably remember the last meeting, I really messed up with not being able to share the screen. I've gone to YouTube and I hope I'll be able to do that this time. So I can go through all the images if you want myself.
Mr. Perini, if you wouldn't mind going through the photos that Peter has on the screen, only I wasn't here last time, so I'm just a little unfamiliar with the application.
Okay. Are you familiar with the house?
Yes.
You can see the little addition. Would you prefer me to use screen sharing so that I can use my cursor?
It would probably be easier for us if you just used Peter's screen.
Okay, great. All right, go back to that screen. And I'll go through the images. This is the face of the house facing east. And you can see that the original house had a house and an L. The little addition to the right, we're not exactly sure what that was, but we think it was probably put on after the turn of the century, maybe even later, from the quality of their construction. There's studs inside, and that whole portion of the building, you might notice while we're on this photograph, that door in the little right, exactly, thank you. That door is actually a 6'8" door, but you can see the bottom of the door is about 8 inches underground. And we think that what happened was that they built this addition, the garage and the porch, on 8x8 sills, just sitting on the ground. And that over time they disappeared and the entire structure has subsided into the ground that far. When you open that door, you have to step up into dirt. You can go to the next picture if you're ready. Yeah, there's the garage. And the garage is the same way. The entire addition has subsided into the ground, I would say at least 8 inches. And you can see it really, even though they attempted to make it stylistically similar to the house, it was a failure. And so Sarah wants to bring the house back to its original look. You can go to the next one, yeah. This is the house facing north, the north facing side of the house, which faces the West Mystic Market. There's the garage, and you can see the porch on the right there. That porch too, thank you. That porch too has subsided about 8 inches, and oddly enough has never fallen off. We still can't figure out how that happened, but it's the angle on that porch is about 12 degrees on that, the way it's settled. This is just a picture of the existing the main structure of the house, just to show you that the quality of the house is very high, and the style of the house is very pure, and the foundation and all is good there. This is simply the property card. You can see it's listed as 1880, but I think it's probably earlier than that. The historical marker says 1848, and I would tend to believe that just from the stylistic parts of the house. This is the lot. It's a big lot. There's not much I can tell you about that. The post office is to the east. Mystic Market is to the north. And it's it has 2 corners to the lot. Can you reduce that? Yeah. Further. Yeah. Back. Yeah. There you go. This is the plan of the house from the town card. What's outlined in red is the part that was added, and that's the part that we want to remove. The L, which is the 270 square foot portion, and the little addition to the and the little addition to the bottom of 160 square feet, that's a kitchen shed. We want to keep those things, but we want to remove the porch, which is the 90 square foot section, and the garage and the little stylistic deal that's associated with that. Yeah. Remove that altogether. Yeah. All right. This is how this is the plan of the house, the elevation of the house as it's built, or as it should have been built. The actual house doesn't look like that because that addition has subsided. Here it shows, the red lines show the actual condition of the house. Again, this is the part that we want to remove. This was my original drawing with the idea that they wanted to replace the porch with a new porch. Since then, they've decided not to do that, but rather just go with simple steps. This is the north face of the house as built. This is the north face of the house after showing how the whole porch, garage, and little edifice thing has all subsided into the ground. This is the part that we want to remove. Also, this again is the drawing of after the removal of the other parts of the building and the possibility of replacing with a porch, but they've now decided to abandon this plan, and all they want to do is put steps off of that kitchen door there, and also steps. Well, I'll show you in another drawing. Well, I don't have another drawing. This shows you how that porch has subsided, which is pretty remarkable. There it is again. And we have searched and we found no bricks or stone or anything for that foundation. It must have been built on wood. We think that the house is actually supported by the gutters, particularly on this one. You can see that gutter downspout. That we think that's what's holding the house up at this point. This was the garden shed, so that aspect of the application has been abandoned until a later date. Now, let me, if I can, let me screen share, because I have a new drawing of the steps that they want to replace. Can I try that?
Sure.
And see if it works? Oh, you cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. Okay, there. Okay.
This was in the packet for record.
No, I've just done this because they've been out of town, and they've just now. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can get to the.
So I think you might have to make a determination if it's got to be continued because of the fact it wasn't in the packet or not.
Come again, Peter?
I said you might have to make a determination if it's because it wasn't in the packet for public
Right.
viewing.
I should have brought that drawing down when it was done.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do it until late last week because, and by the way, it looks like I'm having trouble. I don't see where I can screen share.
You're currently screen sharing. So if you just pull up the picture, we're seeing your screen right now, sir.
Okay. All right, good. All right, so here, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so here are the designs for the simple steps. There's going to be a door facing east, which is the original door. And there's going to be the door from the kitchen door facing north. And the idea is to make that as simple as possible with ironwork. There's another, let's see if I can do this. Here's the ironwork on the front door. And you can see that this has a nice, I don't think the new ironwork could have any kind of this because it doesn't fit code. But we can see we've tried to mimic that front door ironwork with these two deals. And these are just simple wooden steps. The idea is if they want to do something later, they'll come back to you and either put on a new porch or whatever, but they can always use the iron railings. So that's their idea. I'm sorry. I wish I had known that I should have brought those drawings down, but I think I would have missed the publication date anyway because they only got back to town last week. So if you want to defer this to the next meeting, I'd be happy to come back.
Well, I just have one quick question on the railings. You seem to be inclined to do that.
So, Dennis, where are you?
Bill? Good? Okay. You seem to be inclined to match the railings on the front, which are actually quite pretty and decorative, but you said it doesn't need code. Peter, I might be wrong, but if there's not 4 or more risers, you can do anything for railings. You don't even need them, right?
Less than 30 inches.
Yeah.
That's for the railings, but for the handrails, it's 4 or more, I thought.
4 more risers, you need a handrail, yeah.
Right. So if it's less than 4 risers and less than 30 inches, you could match the railings from the front.
Oh, well, that's nice. Well, that's good to know. They have a friend who actually built that for them years ago, and I think they've approached him to see if he would do something with this with the idea that it would match code. So if it's less than 30 inches, I could see them doing maybe even matching what's on the front, which would be nice.
Now, on the flip side, they might want to talk to their insurance company because sometimes insurance companies still require it, even if code doesn't.
Yeah, right. I've run into that too.
But
in any case, they're willing to do this if it's necessary. And the truth is, with steps coming out of a kitchen door, I think it might not be a bad idea to just have a simple
sure, just
set of ironwork, you know, because they'll probably be using it for access. In case whoever was there was not there at the last meeting, the door on the left is the original door on the original L. And that was covered up when they built the garage and the little edifice. That door still exists, the original door with a little transom window over it. And so what we've done is we've just put steps out of that door so that the door doesn't open out into thin air.
Okay,
Like I said, we'd be glad to come back in case you have to publish this and do it by the book.
right, and I think, Mr. Perini, that you're gonna wanna have detail on exactly what the stairs are made of, the dimensions, the tread.
Yeah.
Put that on your drawing, just put that on your drawing.
And the material for the railing and all that.
All right. Well, I can tell you, we didn't have much time to talk about this. They're actually thinking about putting in brick steps, but they haven't made that decision yet. So it might be best that we come back to the next meeting and resolve all those questions for you. As it stands, these would be simple wooden steps with wood siding on them and iron rails. And
Okay, well,
the treads would be Ipe or something. You know, it's pretty simple and straightforward.
you're gonna have to decide what you wanna do before, so that it can be published as you wanna do it. I suppose, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, I suppose you could provide 2 sets of drawings, one with brick stairs and one with wood stairs, and then submit both of them, and then could decide on the time at the time of the public hearing.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to, otherwise you have to decide one way or the other.
Okay. And you want full dimensions on these drawings? The scale doesn't matter. You have to have actual dimension drawings.
Well,
stairs, no, Sarah. I mean, I would.
I would just something
easily
basic. They're 3 feet in width and, you know, something like that. So, but I don't think it needs to be more detailed than that.
You can see the scale down there. The stairs to the kitchen door are 4 feet and the stairs to the L door are 3 feet wide.
so just put that on your drawing. I just put it on your drawing, but you still have to decide what your treads are gonna be made of.
All right. Well, you know, like I say, I think they mentioned Ipe or Ipe or some hardwood. But like I say, they're still thinking about brick. So shall I come back to your next meeting with an exact plan for the steps?
That would be great.
Right, but Peter, he's got to have decided, what, a week or more in advance?
Correct. We can get in so we can put in the public notice.
Right.
Our next meeting is September 7th, I think. So there's time.
Got a little bit more time.
So
Correct.
what would be the deadline for these drawings?
Wait, are you suggesting he comes back for everything then, or just the steps? Are we just pulling the steps out?
Yeah, can we pull the steps out of the application and?
So, I mean,
Maybe
that's
that's
a
a
really great alternative, Eric. Mr. Perini, we could vote tonight on the demolition of the structure and you could just come back for the steps only.
That would be great. And the reason is they really want to see what the building looks like without that.
Okay,
And that might also help them decide what they want to do. They might decide to put a porch on there. So after they see the demolition. Now, it might be longer than September, what did you say, September 7th? Because they might not be able to
You can come back whenever you want.
Right,
Yeah,
perfect.
just don't build any steps until you come back, get approval, and then go from there.
Right, can we build some temporary steps? So they can get in
I
and
think
out?
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that would, listen, if you could approve the demolition, that would be a great help because I think they're a little anxious. They're not sure exactly what the space is going to look like after they remove those buildings.
You guys use the
So-
word remodel and not demolition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always gotta wait the 6 months.
Yeah, they, and they might, it might be a good thing for them to see the building before they decide on the steps. So that's a good thing. If you could do that, we would appreciate it.
Why
Wonderful.
would he have to wait 6 months? Explain that to me, just so I understand it.
Are you asking me or someone?
If you issue for demolition permits in the historic district, it's gonna be 6 months.
Oh,
Wow,
okay.
interesting.
Is that true too if you're taking a fence down?
If you're taking it down,
You don't need a permit to take the fence down. You just need our approval.
right, it would be a structure.
I thought it was less.
Yeah, I thought it was 90 days.
Yeah, it could be
Thought it was
90 days or 120 days, one of the two.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you that building will come down very quickly. An excavator in there can take that building down in a day or two. So,
Might be done before you get a chance to do it.
well, I can only hope. I think it'll be a huge improvement to that property. So,
All right.
Right.
So
let me ask you, what is my deadline for the drawings for that September 7th meeting?
I'm not, Linda and Peter, I'm not sure of how Tom's working his schedule these days. Is it a full week before the hearing now? So it would be the 31st, is that accurate?
I would suggest reaching out to Tom tomorrow and just
Okay.
throw him an email and he'll tell you what day.
It's been changing a little bit, so maybe if you just reach out directly to Tom Zanarini, who's been
Okay.
handling that piece of these applications, that
Right.
will give you a better idea.
Yeah. Well, and like I say, they might not have made up their decision by then or made up their minds by then, but if not, we'll just defer it to another meeting, but go ahead with the demolition if you guys approve it.
All right. Do any of the other commission members have any questions or comments for the applicant?
I just wanted to make sure, Mr. Brini, that you understand what Peter said, that you do have to wait, I think it's 90 days before you can actually do the demolition.
Oh, is that true? Oh, I didn't know that.
That's a state law.
Oh, really?
No, because it's Todd, because he's not demolishing the structure, he's just doing a remodel. If he pulled the whole structure down, he'd have to wait, but if he's.
Oh, is it the entire structure that applies to, not part of it?
It's just,
That's why I was saying be careful the way you're wording that. I'm not saying demolition. So
He's
Okay.
remodeling.
Yeah, I just said remove the building, but remove that part of the building.
You're not
Okay.
removing the whole building is the
yeah, you're not
point
technically
of this.
demolishing the building.
We hope not.
Okay. Learn something new every day.
That would,
The
so that
great
means-
thing about the world.
You know,
so that means that we can go forward with the demolition if you guys approve it tonight. Is that right?
Go forward with the remodeling.
We
Mr.
go
Oh,
forward with the
yes, thank you.
remodeling.
Say it
There's no
right.
demolition happening.
Yeah,
No
you're right.
demolition.
You're exactly right about that. My bad. I really appreciate it, guys.
All right. So does anyone in the audience, would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 21-44 is closed. Actually, public hearings are closed. So I will open deliberations on HDC 21-44. Any comments or motions from the commission members?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
So let's be a little careful. So
Yeah.
the application is actually for removal of existing porch and attached garage addition, probably added in, the addition subsided, new construction of porch and small garden shed near the house. So just to be articulate, the motion is to remodel the existing, well, it's to remove the existing garage and porch
And nothing else.
and nothing else.
Correct.
The shed's out and the stairs are out.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's simply the removal of the dilapidated garage and porch.
Correct.
Are we all on the same page?
Yes.
And that
Um,
was what was moved and I seconded.
Okay, so all in favor, and I will do a roll call. Moriarty, aye. Goodman,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Nault,
Aye.
Brady.
Aye.
Don't miss anybody. All right, the modified application is approved. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pre-application hearings. Do we have any of those in the audience?
Yes, I think we do.
I am looking. Mr. Davidson, are you here for a pre-application?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I am removing, or I am replacing windows in my house, and that's pretty much it. I have Anderson 400 windows that I'm trying to take out. What I have right now, which is, kind of a hodgepodge of, there's some wood, a lot of them are rotting and not looking very good, and some vinyl as well. My house isn't historic. It was built in, I think, 37. So I wasn't aware that I needed to come to this board, but apparently I do. So, I just want to replace the windows and make the house look better than it does. I don't know if anybody has been by 40 Pearl Street, but it's in bad shape. We just purchased the house, and I'd like to, make it nicer than what it is.
Okay, so I think you might have heard when we were talking to Mr. Farini, the next public hearing is September 7th.
Correct.
So what you would need to do is complete an application, include a GIS map, include photos of the existing windows, and then include what you'd like to replace them with and how
Right.
many and where on the house.
Right, and I've talked to Tom down at the building department a couple of times. I talked to Linda. I think I have everything that I need, except for I need to get the spec sheets for the Anderson windows. And I have, I've taken some pictures, but I need to include those as well in the application. And I think I have everything then that I need.
Okay,
Is that correct?
it sounds it.
Okay,
So one thing I would advise you is once you send your application to Tom and it gets uploaded, just make sure everything you submitted is there. There'll be a link for you to double check all of the materials.
right.
And then you said you're replacing your windows with Anderson windows.
Anderson 400, yeah.
Okay, all right. Did I miss anything else, my fellow members?
You want to provide the spec on the window with your application.
Right.
That's the only thing he's missing, he said.
I believe so.
I think you're in pretty good shape.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you. All right. Public communications. Linda, Peter, any?
Nope.
Nope. All right, approval of the minutes from August 3rd, 2021.
Also move the motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, all in favor, Moriarty, aye, Goodman,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
Null,
Aye.
Brady.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Old business, this, Chelsea sign, has she not submitted the sign?
I've not heard from her.
Okay. Then I guess it will stay old business.
I have one question, not about the sign, but getting back to Todd's kind of question about the demo. So how much demo is demo versus remodeling?
I guess we'd have to look at the statute.
The way the statute's written up in there, nothing in this part shall be construed to prevent the ordinary maintenance or repair of exterior architectural features in a historic district. And it says, not the prevention or erection or alteration of any such feature which a building inspector or similar agent certifies is required by the public safety because of the conditions which is unsafe or dangerous due to deterioration, in order to prevent the erection or alteration of any such feature under a permit issued by the building inspector or similar agent prior to the effective date of the establishment of such district. Only thing it states about that is if the building in a historic district is to be demolished, no demolition shall occur for 90 days from issuance of the demolition permit. So it's talking about the building itself.
Okay, not the
So
accessory.
I did have a question today from a neighbor about taking a fence down. And so if it was a fence that's been part of a house, and I thought it didn't matter that they could take that down. Is that
They need
true?
HDC approval. They still need HDC approval, but they don't need.
To take it down, they need approval?
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, like you're technically not supposed to even, I made this mistake, but nothing happened. But on the Elm Street house we did, there was vinyl siding covering all the cedar siding, and we took all the vinyl siding down. But technically we weren't supposed to take the vinyl siding down until we got approval, even though we're going from vinyl to wood.
Okay, okay, that's good to know. I guess I didn't think the removal was as strict as it is. So that's good to know.
All right.
And the pre-application is right across from my house, and it's going to be a huge improvement. So.
I have one other point too, which is back to the planning and zoning changes. So I was waiting for their minutes to come out. They've come out, so I'm going to compile that with the list of changes and I'll have it by the next meeting.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
doing
you. That's a giant task.
No problem.
Any other old business? No? Any new business? No?
Nothing
Alright.
from Brew Pub still?
It wouldn't appear that way based on driving by.
Still getting a lot of pushback on that.
I'm not surprised. So. All right, anything else before we adjourn?
I love these short summer meetings.
It's
I
record.
know. We were on a roll for a while, then they got really long. All right, I move to adjourn.
I second it.
All right, thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Right.